What matters more than money?
Shohei Ohtani is now a player admired by every single athlete in Major League Baseball. And amid that reality, one unbelievable decision by a young player known as a monster has sent shockwaves across the United States. He is a man who dreamed of escaping poverty. What was offered to him was a staggering contract extension. 10 years, $225 million. A finish line that anyone would normally leap at without hesitation. And yet, he chose to turn it down. As media outlets and fans questioned his sanity, a truth no one could have imagined was quietly hidden behind that decision. This is the story of a young man who was willing to walk away from $225 million to protect a dream that was almost painfully pure. And behind that choice lies a tear-inducing bond with his mother, as well as a remarkable surprise that Shohei Ohtani once gave to a poor mother and her son.
Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe.
He must be crazy.
Turning down a fortune you could live on for the rest of your life. That's just insane. In January 2026, that's the kind of criticism that flooded the internet, aimed at the young new Cincinnati Reds shortstop, Elly De La Cruz. The reason was simple. He had rejected a jaw-dropping contract extension offer from his team. But what shocked people even more was why. According to reports, De La Cruz turned down the massive deal for one reason only. I want to play baseball next to Shohei Ohtani. Just that. A reason so simple. And yet, for him, something as big as his entire life. A pure, almost unbelievable admiration. But to truly understand the weight of that decision, we first need to understand what he walked away from. The Reds reportedly offered him a staggering $225 million, a fortune so massive that an ordinary person couldn't spend it even after several lifetimes. At just 24 years old, De La Cruz was being promised an entire future. All it would take was a signature. With that single act, not only he, but his children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren would be freed from financial worry forever. It was, quite literally, a magic ticket. One that could decide the fate of an entire bloodline. For most people, this would be the moment your hands tremble as you grab the pen and sign without a second thought. In sports, the risk of injury is always there. A single unexpected accident tomorrow could end a career in an instant. That's exactly why, in the world of professional sports, locking in guaranteed money is considered common sense, the smart, responsible move. So when news broke that De La Cruz had rejected the offer, the reaction across the United States went beyond shock and edged into disbelief. To most people, his decision looked reckless, an irrational, almost unbelievable act of self-sabotage. But for De La Cruz, it was different. In his eyes, there was something that shined far brighter than endless rows of zeros in a bank account. That something was Shohei Ohtani, glowing under the lights of Los Angeles, wearing the same uniform as Ohtani, chasing a world championship together. That single wish turned a mountain of money into nothing more than stacks of paper. But to truly grasp just how extraordinary this decision was, we need to turn the clock back, just a little, to the small town in the Dominican Republic where he was born and raised. A place marked by memories of crushing poverty, so severe that they're almost impossible to imagine when you hear numbers this large. The memory of extreme poverty, sharing a single glove among siblings. De La Cruz's roots trace back to a small town called Sabana Grande de Boyá. in the Dominican Republic. With a population of just around 30,000 and only a handful of traffic lights, this town was a place where many families struggled to afford even their next meal. He was the youngest of 9 siblings, growing up crammed together in a small house with a tin roof. When it rained, they caught the leaks with buckets. When the wind blew, the windows rattled loudly. There were days when he said he was hungry, and there was simply nothing to eat. In that harsh reality, baseball was the only thing that saved him. It was his sole escape, a thin yet brilliantly shining thread leading him toward the future. But even the tools needed to grab that thread were never enough. The cleats he wore as a boy were hand-me-downs. Every time a hole opened up, they were wrapped over and over with duct tape, forcing the soles to stay attached just a little longer. He kept wearing them like that. As for gloves, there was only one. A worn, battered leather glove that all the siblings shared, taking turns at practice. The time he spent waiting for his turn, silently watching his older brother play. And the brief moments when he could finally touch the ball. Those were treasures to him. That overwhelming sense of longing planted in him a hunger far deeper than most could ever understand. One day, I'll become a major leaguer and make sure my family never goes hungry again. I'll buy my mom a beautiful house where the rain never leaks. That was his purpose in life as a boy. The only fuel that carried him through brutal training under the scorching sun. For someone like him, $225 million is the very definition of a dream finish line. Think about it. That amount alone could support his entire family for generations. The leaking house, the nights spent fighting hunger, the days of siblings arguing over a single glove. All of it could have faded into nothing more than distant memories. From that moment on, life would have turned completely rosy. It was the very success he had dreamed of since childhood. The security he had wanted so badly, it almost hurt to think about. So why was he able to reject that finish line with his own hands? For someone who knows the pain of poverty inside and out, his choice feels not just puzzling, but almost insane. And yet, what truly drove him was a passion that went far beyond any attachment to money. The key to that answer lies in a late-night phone call. He shared with the person he loves most, his mother. On the night that life-changing offer arrived, even staring at the number $225 million, his resolve never wavered. What unfolded in that call was the story of a proud, beautiful spirit, nurtured between a poor mother and her son.
The words De La Cruz shared with his mother.
"Mom, it's an insane amount of money. With this, I'd never have to work again." The Reds had put $225 million on the table, a once-in-a-lifetime offer. On the night that fate-defining proposal arrived, De La Cruz couldn't sleep. Instead, he called his mother back in the Dominican Republic. He wanted to escape poverty. He wanted to make life easier for his family. He wanted to give his siblings a life others would envy. That was supposed to be the reason he had clenched his teeth and kept swinging the bat through it all. And yet, his heart was in turmoil. If he signed that contract now, he would be tied to the Reds until he was 34 years old. That meant one thing: the path to his dream of playing alongside Shohei Ohtani would be almost completely closed. Money or a dream? As silence filled the line, his mother sensed the pain in her son's breathing. Gently, but with absolute certainty, she spoke. "Ellie, We already have enough money." He was left speechless. This was the same woman who had skipped meals and worked herself to exhaustion for her children. And yet, standing in front of $225 million, she said, "Enough." Were we unhappy when we were poor? We always laughed together as a family, didn't we? Then his mother continued, "You know, what makes me happiest isn't seeing you become rich. It's seeing you play baseball every day with joy." Her words gently soaked into his heart, melting away the doubt that had hardened inside him. And finally, she said this, firmly, "Go to the place where your heart trembles. Like Shohei." That single sentence became a beam of light, cutting through the darkness he was standing in. That's right. I'm not playing baseball for money. I want to play the kind of baseball that shakes people's souls, like Shohei does. His mother's unconditional love and her ability to see straight to the essence of what truly matters shattered the overwhelming temptation of money and became the decisive push that led him to choose his dream. And so, he made the biggest decision of his life. For De La Cruz, Shohei Ohtani was never just another player. He had been a pure, lifelong source of admiration. And there's one famous episode that perfectly shows just how genuine that feeling really was. Among fans, it's known as a legend, the body touch incident. And it happened right there, on the field, during a game. It happened when Shohei Ohtani reached second base as a runner for the opposing team. Playing shortstop, De La Cruz slowly walked over to Ohtani, almost as if he were being pulled toward him. And then, unbelievably, right in the middle of the game, he gently poked Ohtani's arm with his fingertip, as if he needed to check whether the person standing in front of him was actually real. Later, laughing shyly, he explained it like this. "I couldn't believe he really existed. He felt like an anime character. It was like seeing a unicorn." At that moment, despite being 6'5" with elite major league athleticism, he wasn't a superstar shortstop anymore. He was just a kid who loved baseball. To him, Shohei Ohtani wasn't a rival to defeat. He was fantasy. He was a god. So how did Ohtani react to such an innocent, unexpected gesture? He didn't look annoyed. He didn't pull away. He simply smiled back. The cameras caught the two of them chatting and laughing together. In that moment, it wasn't just Ohtani's play. It was his character, just as flawless. That turned De La Cruz's admiration into absolute certainty. One day, I want to become a player who can stand next to him. That was the exact moment when simple fandom evolved into a clear, living goal. Around that time, he even began studying Japanese, giving up his days off to do it, so that when the day finally comes, when they wear the same uniform, he can share his feelings in his own words, choosing the heart of a pure boy over the staggering number of $225 million. That playful poke incident may seem small, but it became a great turning point in his career. And more than anything, it was a meeting of souls, one that transcended language itself.
Thanks for watching all the way through. What did you think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue to follow Shohei Ohtani's incredible journey. See you in the next one.